Welcome. Thank you for tuning in to the Sixer Standard Podcast with Ryan A. Clark. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I also want to make another announcement that soon I'll be doing the Phillies Standard Podcast. Just adding on to the Standard series that I'm doing. I enjoy talking about each of my teams. Like I said, I'm a Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers fan. And with the baseball season now starting up, I will be continuing to talk about the Phillies game by game, giving recaps and similar to what I do with the Sixer Standard, going back, showing some recaps of old Phillies classic games as I do with the Sixers, and so I continue on just highlighting the Phillies and my favorite Philly sports teams. So if you're a Sixers fan, if you're a Phillies fan, please tune in. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Clark Network. There's definitely going to be a lot of videos coming there soon, and just making some upgrades, and hopefully that you all enjoy it. But continuing on with the Sixers Standard podcast, there's been a lot this week. They've had 3 games, and they've all been exciting pretty much, with each game having a little bit of a story to tell with it. Starting off the week, the Sixers played the Thunder, and they lost that game 123 to 103. It was a 20-point loss. However, I would say it was more of a moral victory in that one. SGA had 22 points. Chet Holmgren had 17 and 9 rebounds. Jared McCain, the return, he had 13 points, and Jalen Williams had 18. For the Sixers, Edgecombe had 35, Watford had 15, and Beauchamp had 13. Not mad at anyone's performance in this game. Reason why I say it's a moral victory is because the Sixers had really no shot to win this game. Um, heading into the game, everyone found out that Quentin Grimes wasn't even playing. So that right there, you kind of knew the Sixers weren't going to have much of a shot to win this. And the moral victory in is that they didn't lose by 40 like they did to the Spurs. So they did, learn from that and decided to not give up at halftime and just try and play it out as best they can. And to me, the standout of the game was VJ Esco. So I'm just curious about what do you guys think about VJ's season? I think he's had a great season so far, and I know he's not going to win Rookie of the Year. That's another discussion for another day. I think that that's between Flag and Knuppel. But I do think VJ is third in that. And I think that he has shown he belongs. I definitely think that he's going to be a future star in the NBA. I think he's going to be an all-star. I think the kid has a high ceiling, and I think that it's going to show a lot. But what do you guys do? How do you guys view VJ's season? Do you think that maybe he hasn't shown you much? Do you think that he's just another role player? I think that he and Maxey, they work well together, and it's gonna be a conversation soon about the direction of which the team is going and as far as how they're gonna play. Because with Embiid, I would say that he does kind of slow the game down, and the ball kind of stops with him. It's just how his body is, and he can't run like that. He's only give it to you in spurts, which is fine. But we have two young guys who like to run up and down the court, and sometimes that's needed in this fast-paced NBA. So you kind of wonder where exactly is the team going to go. And right now, I'm enjoying VJ's rookie season. Especially with his 35-point performance. And as of recently, with the stars being out, he's had some strong performances. Especially recently of his double doubles. He had a double double as far as points and assists, and a double double as far as points and rebounds. I think he checked off multiple 30-point games. So I really like VJ's rookie season. And what do you guys think about Jared McCain's return? This one was pretty interesting for me. I definitely was a McCain supporter. I just think the team gave up on him too soon. I think that him coming off injury and him being out so long, they should have gave him more of a runway to try and get his shot back together and everything. I know that he came back and forth from the G League and everything like that and got sent back down. But I just don't think that they should have gave up on him so soon. I think that he got a lot of promise, and I think that it's been showing, of course, with the Thunder, who are the best team in the league. So take that for what you want. But still, McCain's doing great over there, and it showed it over here in Philly as well. He had 13 points, and the fans even cheered him as he was scoring on us. And he did a little trash talking as well, rightfully so. So I think he also knows that it was more management. It wasn't the fans. he had the fan support, and I think it wasn't too much of an emotional night. I think they did give him a video for his return and everything. So I think for the Sixers that everything turned out well that night. McCain got his get back, and the Sixers kind of had a moral victory to leave with. And overall, I think that game went as best as you can go. The Sixers didn't have much shot up to win that game. I think the biggest reason why they lost was points in the paint. OKC had 52 to the Spurs. I'm sorry, to the Sixers 40. So it was pretty much a domination from start to finish. I don't think the Sixers led at any point in the game. So you know, good job to the Sixers for even holding that together, and to Nick Nurse having the guys ready to go and ready to play. On the other side of the ball, though, just want to touch on OKC a little bit. Do you think that you know they're going to repeat? I think it's a strong chance. I would say that they're the leading favorite to do it, but eh, I don't know. I think that the Spurs might have their number. I think SGA is going to win MVP, and I think that's about it coming from the Thunder. Um, I really, really want to see a Thunder and Spurs Western Conference final. I really, really do. But on to the Sixers as well. I definitely liked what Watford has been doing this past week as well. He's had a couple 20-point games, and his offensive production has definitely stepped up. So I like to see the improvement from him. Drummond's been up and down as well, and overall, I would say that the Sixers, this game against the Thunder to close it, I think that they took the moral victory and they pushed it to the rest of the week. And going into the next game, they played the Chicago Bulls, which led to the return of Joel Embiid and Paul George. Paul George has finished his 25-game suspension. Joel Embiid, he slowly was listed from questionable to probable, and a lot of people, a lot of insiders knew that he was coming back this game. I don't think most of the fans did, but it was a great surprise, and I think the Bulls are the right team to do it against. You didn't want to throw him back against the Thunder and against the top team and everything. You want to get him back and get him back into some type of basketball shape. So his return against the Bulls was a great one. The Sixers dominated from the beginning. They won 157-137, and this was the team's best offensive performance of the year. And for the Bulls, Giddy had 23, Buzelis had 18, Sexton had 16. For the Sixers, Joel Embiid returned with 35, George returned with 28, Edgecombe with 22. And like I said, overall, it looks like the Sixers, they pretty much led from start to finish and took over the game from the beginning. And I just think that they showed that fully healthy or somewhat healthy, they can be a good ball club. I don't know if I want to go to a contender, but they're a good team, and that's the what you're looking for and to see. For me, the key to the Sixers winning this one was 3-point shooting. They shot 22 of 47. And for me, I've been getting on the Sixers a lot this recent stretch about how bad they've been shooting from three. I can count on my head off the top of my head. I can think of maybe 3 games where they didn't make more than 10 3-pointers. And in today's NBA, that is terrible. So for them to come out and shoot 22, make 22, I gotta give it to them. That was a heck of a shooting display. And also, I think the key to them winning was defense, defense, defense. They forced 14 turnovers, along with 9 steals and 10 blocks. So the Sixers definitely came to play against the Chicago Bulls. Overall, I would say the return of Embiid and George, it was it was impressive. I will say that it was impressive. I know it's the Bulls, so you kind of say take it for what you want because you know they're not really trying to win. But overall, you kind of want to show that you're better and that you had no shot, and that's exactly what the Sixers came in and did. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at this win. The return of Embiid. Overall, I would say Embiid. I'll give him an A for the game. Of course, he came in, did what he had to do. I would have liked to see him more on the glass, but obviously, that's not the Joel Embiid you're going to get anymore. Who's going to be more physical? He's going to be more of a, I guess you could say, finesse big. to pick his spots here and there in regards to what's he going to do in the court. But returning with 35, not mad at this at all. Paul George, I definitely liked his return. I would give him an A as well. He came back and showed his versatility with 28 points. I like what Paul George did on his return. He pretty much played within the flow of the game. He didn't really step on Edgecombe and anything like that. I like that he's taking the approach of being I don't want to say a role player, but he's letting the game come to him. So I think what George is doing, he's letting VJ learn, he's letting Maxey take his, he's letting Embiid get his, but he's just playing on the fly. I think he's kind of leading the wing group of players like himself is in Paul George, Kelly Oubre. I guess you could say Watford in that as well. But I think he's leading the versatile guys into how they a little bit of Edgecombe too, but he's leading the versatile guys and showing them how to go about just playing within the offense of Maxine and Embiid, um, getting the wing defense a little bit better because that definitely was lacking far as the while he was gone. And I gotta tip my hat to Paul George in his return because he definitely has shown that he belongs and the team is a lot better with him. For the flack that PG has gotten as a Sixer, trust me, I know I've given it to him too as well. When he's on the court, he produces, and it's all you can ask for out of him at this point because at best the Sixers can win it all. At worst, they can lose in the first round. And in order for you to win it all, you're gonna need Paul George. You're gonna need him at an elite level. Not so much Pacers Paul George, but I would even take Thunder Paul George. I think that's the Paul George we're gonna get, and I'm happy with that. I will say that I'm happy with that. And on to tonight's game. Man, oh man. Video's gonna be in this full video's gonna be in the description, the full pod. But man, oh man, the Sixers and Hornets. This was a great game. It was a great game. The Sixers win again. They've now won 6 of 8. They beat the Hornets 118 to 114. And this was a game. This was a game. This was playoff intensity. Both teams fighting to get out of the play-in tournament, I would say. The Sixers win the series 2-1 for the Charlotte Hornets. Brandon Miller, he had 29. LaMelo Ball had 20. White was 16. For the Sixers, Embiid had 29. Maxey had 26, 7, and 8. I know he was the telecast player of the game, but my Sixers standard setter of the night, I'm going to go with Paul George. I think he played a great game. He had 26 points, 13 rebounds, 4 steals, and a block. I got to give it to Paul George tonight. He played both ends of the court. He had a big shot to give the Sixers the lead towards the end of the fourth. And I got to give it to him. I think a big turning point in the game when the Sixers went on a 28-7 run around the third quarter. I think that definitely got them back in the game because towards the end of the half, it looked kind of flat. But Sixers turned it around and they got back in this game and they won, which was a big game for them. I mean, at one point they were down 15 and they slowly picked it back up and got it back. Let's see, fast break points, Sixers won 19-8. Points in the paint, Sixers won 42-36. Like I said, steals, they had 7 to the Hornets 4. Blocks, they had 5 to the Hornets 1. So that right there is where I think where the Sixers won the game at, and that's why I gave Paul George the standard setter. Because man, he's being versatile, and he led the team in defense, and I think that's exactly where it showed and how they kind of edged out the Hornets in this one. Because the Hornets, they definitely were running the Sixers out the gym early on, but the Sixers bunkered down and locked in and got it done. Another key defensive moment was Embiid blocking Brandon Miller toward the end of the game. Was I want to say about 15 or so seconds left, and like I said, Paul George was a timely 3. He was all over LaMelo at the end of the game, and this was a great game. Some of the negatives I would say, I think the biggest negative was offensive rebounds. Sixers 7 to the Hornets 20. Ah man, I kind of understand that with Embiid now. He's not going to be gunning for those, but He definitely it's tough because Drummond can't be the only one getting rebounds. And just want to also give a little, props to Drummond. He came in off the bench and it was a spark plug for the team, in that comeback. But again, yeah, yeah, the rebounding is tough because you're gonna go against teams who are gritty in the paint, and you're gonna have to fight back, and you can't lose that battle. But yeah, I think Embiid, he's picking his spots now. I think he's gonna show it when it's time to. So we'll see how that goes as far as down the line. Um, what did you guys make of the Sixers' victory tonight? What did you guys think? Maybe I'm off with the standard setter being Paul George. Do you think it belonged to Maxi? He did have 26, 7, and 8, and he also had big buckets as well. Early on in the fourth, he initially gave the Sixers the first lead of the night or second half, but I think the Sixers overall as a team played great. The overall morale is up. The defensive energy is what I really liked, and I going back to that moment of Embiid chasing down Brandon Miller for the block at the three. You see the team crowding around him. Everybody was hype, excited. I just like what the Sixers are doing, and closing it out, I would say that this game definitely showed a lot to me. It showed that the Sixers, they're gritty, they can get hot, and they can score. They have multiple ways of scoring. They can score fast pace, leading with Edgecombe and Maxi. They can slow the game down when it's time to bunker down in the ending seconds of the game. And that's kind of much as Embiid's time at that point, and he led the way there as well. But what'd you guys make of this win of the Hornets? And this ain't like the first Hornets win early on in the season. This was a red hot Hornets team who I think have won maybe their last 7 games. So this ain't the same. This ain't the same Hornets. They've had the best record in the NBA since January. They were, I want to say, 27 and 5. Or no, yeah, I want to say 27 and 5 since then, roughly around that. But yeah, the Hornets have been on a tear, man. They've definitely shown that they're improving. I want to say they're improving. I don't want to say that, they're gonna win the first round or anything like that, 'cause that's too much. But they have a good chance of making the playoffs and maybe as an eighth seed. But we'll see. And so where do you guys see the Sixers going from here? Their next 5 is the Heat, Wizards, Wolves, Pistons, and Spurs. I honestly can see the Sixers winning 4 of those. They can win 4. I don't think Embiid's gonna play in all 4 of those games or 5 of those games. But with the return of Maxey and George and Edgecombe, I think they could still get 4 of those 5. I think for the Wolves, I'm not sure if Anthony Edwards is back yet, but I think actually I know the Sixers did beat them when he was there in Minnesota. So I definitely think that it's definitely more winnable with the Wolves coming to Philly. So they can win that one. The Pistons game, I don't think Cade will be back, but the Pistons are still playing tough. Duran is an all-star and he's still showing it. They just beat the Lakers not too long ago. So they're not just gonna roll over. They still want to keep that number 1 seed from Boston. And the Heat, that's gonna be a tough game. That's the tiebreaker game. And they're fighting for a playoff spot as well. So that game is definitely gonna be intense. And the team gets a day break and they play again on Monday. So you might see Joel again. And given this last bit of stretch, I wonder what the Sixers are going to do with it as far as the Embiid's management, because they definitely need him because there's a 3-team race now for fifth and sixth. The Raptors are 41 and 32. The Hawks are 41 and 33, along with the Sixers. And the Sixers they have no chance at tiebreaker at the Hawks because the Hawks swept them. So at best, maybe they might get 6, depending on what happened with the Hawks. And I mean, the Sixers can get there. Ultimately, you kind of also want to think about seeding a little bit at this point, because if you do get the 7th seed, you're going to end up having to play Boston in the second round. I'm sorry, in the first round. Um, if you're the 7th seed, but if you come out as the 6th seed, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, if you come out as the 6th seed, you're going to see Boston in the second round. And you still have to play the Knicks in the first round, and they beat you before. So it's not like It's not like you automatically are going to beat the Knicks in the first round in that either. So it's interesting. And if you go all the way up to fifth, you're going to have to see Cleveland. And they're very, very tough. I think they have an elite team right there. So you also kind of got to think of seeding at this point, too, if you're the Sixers. Personally, I think you should try to stick with the sixth seed, but we'll see what the team wants to do going forward. Do you think the team should fight for fifth? Do you think they should try to just stay out of the play-in and get sixth? These next 5 games, do you think they should go 4-1? I definitely think they're gonna lose to the Spurs. That's why I'm saying this. But 4-1, I think at worst they'll be maybe 2-3 of the stretch. But at the best, I'll say 4-1. Worst 2-3. And overall, what do you guys think of the Sixers this week? They went 2-1. They close out March on Monday. The March games on Monday, and going into the playoff stretch. I'm still a little iffy on the Sixers. I'll be honest, man. I think that as of now, I think they might still be a first round exit. If I'm totally honest with you. And with this roster, I'm not. That's not what you're looking for. But with the East and how they're looking, it's hard for me to put them over Cleveland, Knicks, Celtics, or Pistons. So that's ultimately who you're going to be playing in the first round. If I had to pick of those four, I would want to see the Knicks. But I mean, like I said, the Knicks just beat them 2 years ago in the first round. So I mean, I wouldn't say it's a walk. It's going to be something that they can just do. Overall, what do you guys think of this week for the Sixers? Did it give you some hope in regards to a possible playoff run? Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. And for the Sixers Standard Podcast, I am going to be getting this onto Spotify. So if you're listening on Spotify, please let me know what you think about everything. And thank you. Have a good one.